Alright, team, let's get started with our SDET Python training, and we are currently in day 5. So I believe all the days so far, from orientation to so far, have been put in youtube.com/qtp. So please do subscribe so that you get access to everything. So we have a playlist created for SDET Python Jan 2020. I'm going to give you that link to it, but again, it's the same way that I've shown you. Go and please get that link. Playlist for day 1 orientation. Day 1 to day 4 is here. The remaining videos will be on ITeLearn.com. I think Pawan shared something. Let me see. SDET. Did Pawan share something to us? All the videos are here. Pawan, I saw, did share something, but I don't know which group he shared it. There you go. So it's a Python programming. Yeah. So the chapter 1 is day 1 to day 5, day 14. So from today onwards, all the sessions will be here. Chapter 1 is the demo videos, and which is basically the first playlist. And then chapter 2 is from day 5 onwards for members. So please subscribe and get going in that. All right. So what did we do in day 14? I think primarily it was pretty interesting because we wrote a few programs. Did we write user math calculator? Did we create that? I'm not sure if it was in day 4 or 15. Do you know where we started day 4 with? Which program? Is it number 11, for loop? Or number 10, user login, please? Oh no, variables is day 2 or 3, I think. Let's go through once again, just in case. So this was a assignment that we did. One was weekend, a simple if statement that lets us use if, elif, else to be able to use a condition. In fact, 2 conditions here separated by or to see if it's a weekend. Else if it meets any of these other few terms that we have, then it's a weekday, and so on. So we have not come to strings yet, team. So there are a lot of things that will come to basics and beyond. So I am taking it in a way that will be easy for us to understand. So string operations, a lot of it that we'll work on. When we work on them, you'll understand how we can do lowercase, uppercase, and so on. All right, then we had a math calculator. It was a pretty simple one. We took inputs. Everyone can hear me okay, team? Okay, sorry, thank you. We took inputs from the user and converted that into an integer. So we did a typecasting and we said whatever the user enters is a number. We're expecting them to enter a number. And we'll change it to an integer. And then we are assuming that they're not entering decimals. See, that is where software life and programming gets complex, because a developer needs to ascertain that all possibilities are covered. So if the user enters decimals, then how do we have to react to it? The user enters something as a character, then how? So eventually all these come up to us as how programs evolve, how applications change from one version to the other. Anyways, so 2 inputs with changing it, getting into x, y, operator 1, saying that what is the operator, and we asking the user to select from one of this. And we're using a simple if, elif, else, and saying operator is this, then do this. If it's this, then do this. Else this, then do this. Else this, then do this. This basically is helping us to groom our skills on programming. And today we're all going to sit on an exercise. You may spend about 10-15 minutes to get going with the logic, and we'll see how that goes. Next came user login. Okay, so the first part of it. Let's read the purpose. It'll be easy. Okay, username and password are hard coded in a Pi program. Okay, done. User must enter the right combination to be able to log in. Okay, perfect, done. Else user will get rejected. Okay, that's fine. User can try up to 3 times and the program stops after that. So with this in mind, we started with a simpler version of the code number 1. So let us say, and team, always remember this, and please forgive me, but I hope you like what I'm doing, because it's very important, team, for me to deviate sometimes and talk about concepts in computer programming. Now I forgot what I wanted to say also. I'm sorry. I wanted about CS. Okay. No, let me take some color. So let us say there is a version 1. What does version 1 mean? And do you also know that there's typically sometimes, there's an alpha version, there's a beta version, and then there is a version 1. What does version 1 for a software application mean? Can you think and tell me, please, everyone? In participate, please. It will really make me feel motivated. I can teach better. Truly, I can teach better then. So what is version 1, team? When, let's say, WhatsApp came up, Facebook came up, or Gmail came up, or Sabir Bhatia's Hotmail came up in when 97, 96, something like that. Basic version. So I'm reading it now. So what I'm seeing is initial production release, build, another. Just each one is separated from each of your team. So keep giving the answers, please. I'm getting a lot of them. So I got one is initial production release, prod release. Then I got build. Let's write this down. What is V1.0 again? Okay. Initial prod release. And see, lovely terms these are. Next one I got is build. First version in production. Beautiful team. You guys are doing very well. Initial version. First release. I'm writing as I see. Okay. I'm not taking the names. So please, team, be careful with your spells. Basic version. I'm just using the upper lower cases. That's the only thing I'm doing from my side. Initial, and only about 20% of you are actually putting it in. Initial, what is that? Where am I? Oh my goodness. Initial application released. I think release is a better term than released there. First, oh my goodness, it's testing my typing skills of an application. I'll go faster. With only few features, not features. Okay. Again, see, look at your English and grammar team. Is it okay if I correct you also on our grammar and English without taking your names? Is it acceptable, please? Yes, thank you. Because, a lot of times it's a very, how do I say it, team? I love someone for their work, but they don't speak good English. I'll accept it. But if I like someone for their work and they speak good English, see, team, again, we come from different cultures and backgrounds. It's not necessary that's our mother tongue or that's something that we've been born or built up. But that is something we have to survive with in our jobs. Isn't that correct? Then let us make an absolute conscious effort to make it correct. Absolutely, and especially the JPAC members, please make sure you participate in speaking more. wherever you get a chance. Even ITeLearn members in these sessions, please speak more. I'm just reading a few more team. Wow, there's so many that came up. Wow, this is really good. I'm sorry, team, I get excited for small things because for me, this is beautiful. When someone learns basics well, I really admire it. First major release to production, and you're all almost right. First major release to production. Let's read this one, longer one. When you're doing good job, I want to take your names, team, if you don't mind. I think it came from Suresh. Suresh said alpha and beta software refers to computer software that is undergoing testing. It's not been officially released. So from my perspective, I'll just say briefly, team, alpha, just a try. Beta, serious try with maybe few customers, trial customers again. Okay. I wanted to add one more version 0.x to version 0.999, whatever, are all internal releases. Make sure all is working. Smaller app devs use first beta and then V1. Larger orgs, and I'm saying orgs team, I hope you understand the grammar in it. Larger orgs use all the possible cycles to ensure better product, and then V1 to ensure faster to market, and then can make changes later. All right. And team, yes, we can say pre-prod release, but again, pre-prod release can be there for every release. Okay, and this is pre-initial prod release. This is the first. So your V1 basically becomes like your first client-facing production. See, when we say production or live and so on, we still don't know what that means. It's still an IT term. Or first client-facing application. Is that fair? Do you agree with me or disagree, team? And I don't read this anywhere, team. I've just been in the industry for a while. I've captured terms. I've been doing a lot of things in it, and that's where I get. I think it's the first client-facing application release that is released so that the customers can start using. And that is why we want to make sure everything is correct. So why did I come there to talk about this? While our objective was to do all of this, I'm right now working on an alpha code. Okay, now you understand why I mentioned that. An alpha code to at least to do the basic stuff first, to see if there's a possibility. Then we will do a little bit more alpha to it, add a little bit more features and see how it is. If I get all this 4 into one code working perfectly, that's gonna be my V1, V1.0, correct? But now what we're doing is more like alpha, then beta, then maybe version 0.1, 0.2 or 0.6, 0.9 and so on. Let's look at this code very briefly. I'm sorry I'm taking so much time to review what we did, but also we had a weekend in between. So username 1, user password 1. What are these two? Quickly tell me, please. What is UN1 and UP1? Sure, Suresh, thank you. It's an interview question for 1 or 2 years old. What are the release cycles and how do we want to make sure? So it is good to keep going back to some of our fundamentals. UN1, I know that username one and user password one, but what are they in Python? They're variables. But the right answer, team, they are variables of type string. So always keep that in mind as well. What are the type? Also keep mentioning because there's a value going into it. All right. So what are we doing? I said my username 1 and user password 1 is KK and 1234. So this is my expected hard-coded data. Okay. And then I want user to enter. So this is where when the user registered, this is there, assume it in a database. Right now I hard-coded it in the code, but tomorrow when I give my version 1.0, I will fetch it from a database which is very well protected from security and so on. Then I have something actual. So expected, actual. I'm comparing them. How am I getting this uname and upassword? Again, this will come as strings. So these two are strings. Are these two also strings then? Are these strings or not, team? Yes, because anything that we're entering by default from input as a user using this command is coming as an output as a string. If you want it, you can convert it, but default is coming as a string to us. So that way I'm able to compare also easily string to a string. Now, if this matches and password matches, user logs in successfully, else logs in not successfully. That basically does the basic first alpha release or trial version of the concept of how it can work. Then we said that hey, we may have to try this 3 times. So we learned the concept of for loops, team. So only 3 basic types of for loops that I showed you so far, where what I said for I in range 10 and I said print I. Why do I need this tab? I need this tab to talk about the fact that the statements are there within. So I say print here. What do I print? Something like this. And each line it will do that. I already used that, so I'll use this. Now the print will be different. Now if I say print here, right here without any gap, now see, look at the difference, team. Line number 4. Is within that for loop. Line number 5 also is within this for loop. How do we know it? Because it is tabbed or one indent. So just shift your characters to the right by 1 tab space and basically it knows Python interpreter that yes, this is how it is. Now line 6, will it get printed 10 times? I know this will get printed 10 times. I will get printed 10 times, but each time I value will change because that is what we're using as a counter. Okay. And I showed how it looks in Java as well, team. I didn't comment that. I don't know. Anyways. So how variations are there? On it, when I say for J in range 100 to 130, it starts at 100, ends at 130. So here it starts at 0, correct, team? Or it starts at 1? I don't remember. Honestly, I get confused sometimes. Where does my for I in range 10 start from? 0, 1, 0 or 1? And where will it end? Nice, team. You're all pretty smart about it. Yes. So this starts at 0 and ends at 9. How many times? 10 times in total. Correct? That's what we're saying. And each time my I changes. and here my J changes, K changes. What is the difference between line 10 for loop and line 15 for loop? Why are they called loops, team? It will keep looping. Line 4 and 5 keep on repeating 10 times. Line 11 only here. Keep on repeating 30 times, I believe. 100. So here it starts from where, team? In this case, line 10 starts from 100 to 299. Sorry, 129. Is that correct? Is that 30 again? Not again, but 30, right? And please, team, guide me. Sometimes it's very easy. Though I may be a trainer, my idea is to make sure that you all learn perfectly. It's not that I am perfectly awesome on it. I might make a lot of mistakes. So keep your eyes on me. I make any mistakes, just raise your alarm, please. Now, what's it with line 15? And why are we doing all this repetition, team? This is one of the most important concepts in programming. If we don't get this right, we really cannot move forward. We're going to do a big exercise on this after this, team. All right. Starts at 100. So let's write this. Starts at from 100 to 129 again in increments of 3. And since this is new, I'll write example 100, then 103, 106, 109, and so on. Now see, I already wrote what I'm expecting to see in my print statements in my console at the end of it. In the Python console, there are pip commands, there are git commands and all this. Don't worry about it right now. Just focus on what I am showing you, please. Don't worry about anything else for now. All right, where are we? So we are still on the same program that we've kind of edited for loop. Right click again and let's run this. Let's make sure. So what did we do? We tried to run the program within our mind first to make sure if it's correct or not. Once it is correct, then we said, okay, you know what? Now let's do something about it. Let's run and see if it's correct. So see, at least the last one, 100, 103, 106, 109, that seems to be in the same fashion that we expected. I didn't finish it. It's not supposed to end at 129. It'll go till 127. Right? So that's a mistake. And believe me, team, the organizations that you would want to represent or where you're already working, where you're trying to get skilled, want you to be conscious on everything. Just be aware, because I mean, just imagine we are in such a world that it is highly competitive, team. It is not going to be easy for any of us. So just whatever we're doing, let's make sure we're putting all in for it. All right, great. So where are we now? So now we have a concept where we said, let's loop through it. Loop through what? Our assignment or our activity of trying to make the user login. Why should I loop through it? It's working, right? I take username, user password. If it matches, I print it. But I want to give 3 attempts. So when I loop through it like this, what would happen, team? When I say for x in range 3, so this would basically start x equals 0 till x equals 2. So 3 rounds, irrespective of what is going on. It's just a blind counter. For is a blind count. It's got nothing to do with it. It just count. It will not analyze anything. And the problem is that, let's say KK1234 is there. So this is the one. When I run this, it'll ask me to enter the input username. I'll say KK. and I say 1, 2, 3, 4. User logged in successfully, give access, and again it's asking me enter username. From which line number is this statement coming from? Can you tell me, team, by looking at the screen? Which line number is this statement coming from in the code? You guys are just rocketingly awesome, guys. Not a single mistake. One mistake, who said 16? 16 is the wrong answer. 19 is the right. But what's in 16? 16, no. It's coming to 19, where user enter username. So why is it coming here? Because where is the first? Okay, tell me what is the last statement in line in the for loop? Which is the last line number in the for loop? And these are such fundamental basic questions, right, team? But just imagine it will set your balance very, very well. Which is the last statement in your for loop? Here I'll write something. Actually, nice answers. I was thinking why some of you took time. I honestly I thought, why were the members taking time? Brilliant team. Guys are just doing very, very well. I'm very happy. So the answer that I expected was line 27. Isn't it correct, everyone? But then it can also end on line 24. Because it's an if statement, right? Either this will get executed or this will get executed. So it can come out from line 24 or it can come out from line 27. But the for loop as the loop itself ends on line 27. My logic might be somewhere else. It can come out of it anywhere, but it ends on line 27. Right? Now, in this case, what is happening is blindly going to each time. So how can we resolve this issue, team? And to do this is where we come in with our while loops. We're trying to reason out why we are getting there. You will understand. And for us, I think programming should not be taken as I have chapters and I need to finish them as a curriculum. Rather, I have a problem that I need to fix, and to fix that, I need to learn something. And when I fix that problem with that solution or syntax or whatever is given in our programming world, then you learn really well. All right. Okay, great. So now we'll exit. I'll not put yet. We'll come to it later. What do I want to do? So 13 while loop. Okay. So actually, let me just try. When we want to loop through a set of code based on if a condition is true or not, we use a while loop. Okay. So the way we get into it, team, is very simple. So in a while loop, what I say is if I say, so I don't have something as a counter to begin with. I don't have to use I every time, team. I can use A also. Let us say I start with A is 0. While A is less than 10, print, I will still do the below. I'll say print value of A is comma A. Now let's observe what happens to this simple code, team. Unlike a for loop where I say that for I in range of something, I have a while loop where I replace it with a condition. As long as a is less than 10, I want it to print. All right, one second, team. So let's run this now. So how many times should this get printed, everyone? I have 2 print lines, so I'm expecting a is less than 10, about 10, so 20 print statements. Is that correct? Is that a fair assumption? So now let's run it. Do you see what's happening here, everyone? And it's crawling by pages and pages. This program is never ever going to end unless you manually intervene and do something about it, because it has gone into something called as an infinite command. When the condition will never be false. Team, so infinite loop is, don't think that it will go on forever, because it is not reducing or it is not decreasing a counter and so on. It can be even, it's not always about numbers, right? It can be even string comparisons. So an infinite loop is basically failing when the condition will never be false. So what will happen? If the condition is true, I'll keep on doing. That's the problem with the while. So what do I do better? Then I'll say b equals 0. While b is less than 10, print this will be finite of 10 times. All with me, everyone? And some of you who have a question, please go back and repeat the videos. And believe in what I'm saying, team. Sometimes it takes 2 to 3 attempts to clear the same thing. Okay. Now we're making a finite loop. This was an, I will still do the below, and this will go infinitely. Some words in English are tough to write down correctly. Print b, but this time I'm going to do something different. I'm going to reduce b equals b minus 1. And what is the format for this in Python? And team, please keep referring to Google to begin with, how to decrement in Python. Ping, 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 ping. Right, plus equals or x equals x plus 1. Yes. What minus equals? I just don't write clearly. It's the a plus plus in Python. That's exactly what I'm trying to get to. So. No, there is, see, like this, plus equals 1, plus equals. I think that's what even this was trying to spell as, but we couldn't read it correctly. Plus equals or minus equals. So this basically I can write this, or I can also write it as what they mean to say, b plus equals 1, because I have to write 1. This guy is plus equals 1. That's also increments by 1. I don't really like this one theme. It's only more confusing than adding value by 1. like B++ in Java. So that was much more easier. Actually, it will be B++ semicolon, of course. Okay. So now where is my line while loop end on line 18? And this time, each time I'm incrementing, actually B equals B minus 1. So this is supposed to be minus. Now it will work? Yes, no? Team, what's your vote? Right? And let's go into another incremental loop. And I don't know why most of you have not figured it out, team. There are a couple of errors that I've deliberately put in here. And let's be conscious about them. Let's see where we're going. Stop this. So manually, we're doing a hard stop. See, number one, B equals 0, B is less than 10. So from 0, B has to go till 10. So should we increment or decrement? We're supposed to be incrementing, right? And even when it's changing, maybe you were thinking, why is Karthik doing like this? And then for a second, then you thought I was too fast and you saw the errors. Any other errors that you see in this? Good one, Aparna. Any other error that you see in this while loop from line 13 to 18? There is definitely an error. I will guarantee you. Seriously, no one, team? Please don't get demotivated. You've been doing very, very, very well. I just want you to be thinking. Indentations we have. Everything is fine. Good one, Hitesh. That we fixed, GL. That B is always gonna be less than 10. Because we were decrementing, we're supposed to increment, and it's +1 for us. You're right, Shrikant. So again, I've just got a few of you. See, look at this print statement. And at least you should have seen here. If I change here, I'll know. And had it been minus like earlier, you would have seen the values at least, right? See now what will happen to B. Are you seeing the values, team? Do you see the numbers going up and up and up? So that's how fast it's scrolling through these. So let's stop this. Use a hard stop. Use this red stop button, please, the square button, and stop this. So we are now incrementing. So for loop is when blindly you want to count through certain number of times. While loop when based on a condition being true. Now see, so nicely it does it all the way from 0 all the way till 10, till 9, sorry, 10 times. That's a while loop. Now let's try something here and put a new, oops, in the program for what number are we? 14. What? Okay. 14. User login 3. Now I'm going to try and apply that logic, and this is what I think Chitra, George were all trying to show us a couple of days back. Now we are reaching their team to better understand. So what's our requirement now? It's still here. I think let's copy the old version. See what I'm doing? I'm not rewriting everything from the beginning. I'm just copying the old version. So the purpose remains the same. Hard coding my values, that is fine. This is what I'm expecting. X in range 3. So this is always doing it. So now think of it, team. Okay. I will only loop when, tell me, team. So loop up to, and this is how we build logics and algorithms, okay? Up to 3 times if if what thing? In this case, login fails, or when basically, so loop and up to 3 times if login fails, expected and actual are different. So what does that mean? Login fails or not is important for us. So I will put login status to begin with is, let's assume fail team, okay? And so this is by default, it starts with a fail. Now, if login happens successfully, change it to parse loop as long as it is fail or a counter being 3. Do you understand, team, now what I did, everyone? Are you getting it? I have a larger problem. It is very tough for me to handle larger problems in one go. I will break it down, believe me, team, into so many pieces that there is no chance that I will miss each piece. Okay. I don't know how many of you, you play games and sports, right? If your target is not hard, you keep on winning on it. There's no way you lose. If it's so easy for you, right? It will be a rare failure. Yes, you're not learning anything different, but when you are in a problem, always break it down into small manageable pieces. And now slowly we're building. And all I'm doing is writing the logic. By default, it starts, let's assume. Okay, so this is something that we apply in mathematics as well. Let's assume. By default, let us assume it is a fail. See, again, that is the problem. Else, it won't start the loop. And now, if login happens successfully, change it to pass. So what does that mean? Right now, it is fail. Only when it is successfully logged in, I will change it to pass. Do you think line 33, give access and given access, is it supposed to be give access or given access? Actually, I wrote it deliberately, but thank you for looking into it, that maybe it's a grammar error. It is not a grammar error thing. It is basically an instruction that I will give to a next program. Instead of print now, I will call a function which will say give access. That will do a bunch of other things to make sure it gives the right access. Okay. So give access is more like a verb. Given access is a status. So for me, give access is like now I have to start working on next things about the user. So that was in the mind. So but good thought that maybe it was a something else. So login status is pass if it is here. Now look at what I'll change. So this for loop is like absolutely not good for me. I will have a while. So what is it? Login status equals fail. If it is fail, we'll do. And I will have a counter. Let's count any other number you want to give. X equals 0. And I'll say, so 3 times, right? X is less than 3. That's my condition. Oof. I hope I'm correct with what I did. So, but let's see. Let's repeat it in our mind before we run it once again. So where are we? Requirement, okay. Username 1, KK, user pass, user P1, 1, 2, 3, 4, login status fail. And so by default, let us assume it is a fail. So loop up to 3 times. If login failed, expected and actual are different. Else, so here by default, let us assume it's a fail. Else it won't start the loop. That's the problem. Login status is failed, that is SDET. And it said if login happens successfully, change it to pass. So this goes as a comment here. All right, so this is set to pass. Now see how we're doing it. Loop as long as it fails, and that we're doing here. Isn't it a code that you understand, team? Don't you think this is all correct and perfect? Yes? Any issues? A couple of them, team. Yes, you're right. See how we can skip easily. Number one is, where am I incrementing I? Let's say ix plus equals 1. So this is not I, in x, incrementing x by 1 in each rotation. That is number one we need to do, team. The second thing that we need to look at is, see, if login status is failed, then we go through. If login status is pass, then what do we do? Print. In fact, from here, we'll go to a different function call altogether, team. End of program is done. So did I log in or not here? I don't know. But basically, I've got the print there. And I'll have an end of program. So I know if I've logged in or not. And user logged in unsuccessfully. Instead of deny access, try again. You have number of attempts left. Comma is so x is 0, 1, 2. It will be 0, 1, 2. First time it will say 0. So I'll say 2 minus 0, 2 minus 1, 2 minus 2. So that will be 2 minus x. Because then it will be 2 minus 0 will be 2 attempts left, then 1 attempt left, and then 0 attempts left. Oh, I hope it runs, Steve. What else is there? Login status is pass. See, if it fails, it will remain to be fail. Only if it passes, I'll set it to pass. Yep, I think so. Let's run and try. Okay. And there are a few questions from some of you. I'm going to take that. I have an assignment after this. So let's see how this works, team. I'm going to try both of them. Enter KK 1, 2, 3, 4. User logged in successfully. Give access. End of program. Perfect. Word correct. Now let's say I enter A 1. User logged in unsuccessfully. Try again. Number of attempts left 2. That's correct. BB 2. User logged in unsuccessful. Number of attempts left 1. CC 3. User logged in unsuccessful. Try again, number of attempts left, 0, end of program. So that's also fine. We can further make a change to it where it's saying that, sorry, you've had enough attempts. And how do we make that? Very simple. See, again, all of this is taking one after the other. I'll say if x equals what 2, then I'll say, also say print, sorry, you have attempted or finished all your tries. Retry after 3 minutes. That's it as a lockout for that. So if x equals 2. So once x reaches 2 team, basically, you've reached that. Number of attempts left 0, then we'll print this. Else, I don't do anything. You don't need to use else team. So always remember that. I just have to use whatever I want to see. So A, B, D, no. Z, no. C. Try again, number of attempts left 0. Sorry, you finished all your tries. Retry after 3 minutes. And it didn't come to us anywhere else. So we as programmers, when we sit down, we try and take code one level after the other each day. So no coder is going to sit and try and finish a large program, everything in one day. They're going to, leave something for the next day and have a lot of excitement around it as well. So team, these are the basics of while. We're going to apply it in a lot of assignments and so on going forward, but I hope you've got the gist. I'm going to give you an assignment and I want you to try, okay, and come back tomorrow. Print a tree. So what this means is very simple, team. Print a tree, take height, take width, and print something like this. It should look like this, team. So it's taking a little time. Someone had a question. I'm going to try and come to you. Can you keep your hands raised, please, for me? Like this. Just take anything, star or whatever you want. Maybe here you can give a bar. Is this? That's strange. Okay. Right. 1, 2. It's trying to get a straight line. It's all utilized. Star here, star here, star here, star here, star here. So for this example, height is 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll give the same 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's equal like height is 8. Width is basically we're counting. If you count the largest also, that's more than enough. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Width is 7. And then output should be as below. So you're going to use for loops, team. And what will we learn? I don't think you'll need while loop for this. But try this. It's going to be very interesting. I will see something tomorrow possible from you. Okay. Great. Any questions? Let me see. There are a few hands raised. And team, please be very alert with the questions. If we are towards the end of the session, not too many questions, then I would end the session. I see one hand raised from Swati. Swati, I'm going to make you presenter, and then you should also be able to speak. I think we can see your screen.
Hi, Karthik.
Yes, can hear you.
So I'm trying all the programs that you were teaching. So whenever I'm trying to give the input, it's giving me the error. Yeah. So all the programs, wherever I have to pass the input, I'm not able to do it.
That's interesting. Show me one. Do you have one program which just does that? Okay, do me. Here is what. Whenever I have a problem, okay. Here is how. If I know that is what it is, here is how I would show it to anyone who can help me with it. Swati, can you make? No. What am I doing? 1 second. I want the keyboard and mouse. To be able to debug and analyze where the root cause is, I will just do one thing. So let's see.
Did you send the permission? Yes. But I don't see it.
You didn't receive it?
Can you? No, I didn't. Can you resend it?
I'm resending it. Oh, I think I gave you. So no, it's not correct. Request.
Yeah.
Your presenter.
I got a show my screen request.
Yes, now.
Yeah, I got the control one. Perfect. And you have the control.
Okay. So we know that, you're having issue with input, right? That's
yes.
All. Then, Swati, why would you show me everything else? For example, I'm saying, I would want to rather right click, it's a new, and say, I have this file. Sorry. Error input. Okay, let's say that's the name. And x equals input enter name. And x. So that's it, right? This should work. I mean, so let's try this code now. So sometimes we don't know where the error is. When we do a small one, we'll know if it's coming or not. Let's say we have the name. Okay. See, now we know there's a problem.
Yeah, it is not accepting it as a string. So I had the old version and I upgraded it.
No, why did you why didn't you install the latest one?
It is up to date, so I checked it.
I'm not sure if it is up to date. I'm not sure, I'm saying. But I would want you all to use the latest one, please. Why would you do that? Use anything.
If you go help and check updates, it is up to date.
Not defined. Sorry?
If you go help and check for updates, it is up to date.
Let's see. No, but I need to see Python version also. So let me see if I can research a little and find out. Anything else that is failing?
means other than the input ones, everything else is passing. If I have
I
to
see.
try the input and get some results, it is failing.
Okay. So here, if I say y equals n,
It's showing some message on the bottom corner, can't install updates, something.
okay, here is what I would do. I would go
Okay.
and get the latest Python version and install it.
Okay.
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 Make sure that your virtual environment for your project is set to that.
Mm-hmm.
We know that because if I'm not sure if anyone else is facing the same. So just please get the latest one. Don't do an update from, I don't know which version we're using here. So let me run this. See when, okay, print X is anyway not there. Just do the latest one and let me know, please. Karthik. So regular
Yeah,
Python,
sure.
the input
Yeah,
seems to be
regular
having.
one is working fine.
Okay, all right. Get the latest one, create a new project, install Python on some C drive, something, and make sure your virtual environment is set to that.
Okay.
All right. Mhm. See, using 2.7. Why will you not have issues? Hmm? How can you tell me that it's the latest one? Just tell me, please. You latest did PyCharm, maybe, not Python. If you do not follow the instructions step by step, you will get stuck and you will waste a lot of your time, team. Please get the latest one and you should be fine. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you, team. Thank you, Swati.